Podcast Playground.
Hooray!
This is the Deron Harris Podcast. Here's your host, Deron Harris.
Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Deron Harris, and this is the Deron Harris Podcast. Thank you very much for joining me again this week. Listen, I just want to acknowledge this really fast before I get started. I'm seeing you guys out here, and I do appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. I really, really am super humbled and extremely just grateful that you guys are out there feeling my work. So I'm trying as hard as I can to give you guys good quality content, and hopefully I'm doing that. I'm delivering that for y'all, and I just want you to know that I work diligently daily in order to do that for you guys. So today I am talking about all white, far right towns that are all of a sudden popping up in America, like whole towns, like not a neighborhood, like an entire town of white folks. Only white folks. Only white folks are allowed to live there. You heard me. Only white folks are allowed to live in these towns. It's not like some sort of unsaid rule or anything like that, like you get in a lot of sundown towns. But this is a deliberate and planned community for people of white Anglo-Saxon European ancestry. That's what it is. So that's what I'm talking about today. But before I jump into that, I'm going to do what I do every single week, and I want to ask everybody how they're doing mentally, because it really does mean something to me. It matters to me. It makes a difference in my life to know that the people who listen to me, that they can get by. Everybody has struggles. Everybody has points in their life where they're down. Everybody has points in their life where they feel like things are hopeless. Well, most people, most regular people anyway. And I just want you to know that you are not alone. There are people out there that are like you. I'm one of them. I suffer from major depressive disorder and extreme anxiety. And I also want you to understand that there are people out there that are 100% totally committed to helping people like us. So don't hesitate. Don't put it off. If you are feeling some type of way, please go out and get some help. Like I said, there's plenty of places out there to help you get along out here in this world, because it's difficult, especially with the world changing the way that it is and how rapidly it's changing. It's very difficult to sometimes sit down and go, okay, everything's fine, because it's clearly obvious that everything is not fine. From politics to the weather to religion to everything around us, it just seems that things are failing and there's no end in sight. So I can completely understand where some people may be overwhelmed. I myself am a big advocate for therapy. Yeah, I lay down and talk to somebody, and I think that it is a big help for me to be able to vocalize and verbalize my fears and frustrations, the things that I have the anxiety about, the things that depress me. Being able to actively tell somebody and say how I feel, and not necessarily for them to respond or rebut, but just to hear myself say them so that I myself can try and maybe help myself formulate a way into better feelings. You got me? So, like I said, I just want to let y'all know that I love y'all and I see y'all. And I really, really, really am pulling and rooting for everybody out there who is suffering mentally on a daily basis like myself. Okay? So, look, I'm going to take a quick, fast break. I want to take a break I got to go to the bathroom, but I'm going to take a quick, fast break. And when I come back, we're going to jump right into it, man. These towns they crazy, man. All white towns in America. Wild. This is the Deron Harris Podcast. I'll be right back.
The Podcast Playground.
Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
All right, y'all, what's good? Welcome back. All right, check it out, man. like I said, there are these all-white towns on the rise in America. Now, there is a group, a specific group that I'm talking about today that is behind this. And it's like one particular guy, a guy in particular, which he's a co-founder. I don't know the rest of the people who founded the group, but the group is called Return to the Land. Okay, remember that. Return to the Land. And they abbreviated RTTL, RTTL communities. Okay, that's fine. Return to the Land communities. Well, right now there is one in the Ozark Mountains. Like, yep, there's one right now in the Ozark Mountains. Currently, they have about 150 acres worth of land, and they acquire land through donation and fundraising, et cetera, and their own money that they invest themselves. And they got about 40 or so inhabitants. Well, right now, they are in talks with people in Springfield, Missouri, to bring another location of this RTTL community or town to Springfield, Missouri. And the goal of the community is one of the hopes they want to bring one of these to every single state in the union. Would you like to see one of these down the street from your house, or the next town over from you guys? I don't know. How do you feel about that? They say it is well, it's all white, and it is definitely far right. And it is they bill it as an intentional community for people with shared European ancestries, quote unquote. And they say it's like for people with shared heritage and white European culture, if there is such a thing. It's pretty much barbarianism. Like realistically, I'm just saying. But okay, let's move on. And there are some people that are fearing that segregation is making a comeback, and they are absolutely right. That's exactly what this is. This is actual segregation. This is segregating. But it seems like they're segregating themselves as opposed to telling us to segregate from them. They're doing it themselves. And I got to be honest with you folks. I don't give a fuck. To a degree. Let me put that on it. I don't care to a degree. As a matter of fact, I'm okay with it. I'm kind of good with it. As a matter of fact, to a degree. You know what I mean? To a degree, and I'll explain my problems with it. But none of it is the issue of them wanting to separate from us. I don't have a problem with that if they want to do that, because as an American, I believe that Americans should, be able to do what they want in pursuit of happiness and live around the people they choose to live around. Cool, why not? But I also believe I think that it's good because I myself personally, I don't want to live around people like that. I really have no desire to live around people who only want to live around their particular culture because that's what they deliberately, like I said, it's a deliberate community. People who I have no desire to live around people who deliberately want to segregate themselves due to race. Now, I do support. Now, I did a podcast a few months ago about a black community that was doing this. And people are like, oh, well, what's the difference? The difference is this. We have been pushed out of communities so many times that it was only obvious. It's only the only natural progression for us to try and do our own things as opposed to trying to integrate into a community that doesn't really want us there in the first place. That's the difference. Okay, the communities or the whatever communities, the affluent communities, the affluent neighborhoods, you can see anytime a little black child walks through the middle of some subdivision someplace, you got 10 guys asking him, where does he live and does he need to be in this neighborhood? That's not their business. This guy's just walking through, but they feel entitled to do that. Now this town makes it so that we, black folks and Latin folks and Asian folks, and by the way, Jewish folks also, even though you consider yourselves, some of you consider yourselves to be white, but Jewish folks are also excluded from this. Just so you know, everybody but white Europeans is excluded from this. And yes, they can be, I guess, according to the founder, and his name, by the way, and you might want to remember this name, because I think that we'll be hearing a lot of this because he's pushing hard for this. His name is Eric Orwell. Eric Orwell. Now, I don't know the rest of the people involved, but I know that he is one of the co-founders of Return to the Land. And they've been, according to him, they've been getting a lot of traction, a lot of positive feedback. There's some people that are interested, like he said, in Springfield, Missouri. He's working on some other deals in some other places. And he's serious about bringing these towns to a state near you. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, y'all. I mean, because look, man, if you want to live over there and be out my fucking face, that's great, man. But go stay over there. Nobody wants to fucking live around you. We don't care to live around you. That's first and foremost. We don't care to live around people who don't want to live around us based on the color of our skin. Remember that, okay? It's not no, we just don't want to live around people who don't want to live around us. I'll live gladly around white folks. I've lived in plenty of white neighborhoods where I've been accepted. Not just accepted, embraced. And just not really overlooked. But my race was really never a factor. Plenty of neighborhoods. But this is a planned neighborhood where obviously your race is a factor. And the difference is that I was talking about before in these the proposed planned black community is you can still do business here. You can come do business here. You can come get a bank account here. You can get your car washed here. You can eat a restaurant here. You could do all kinds of stuff here. But just make note that this community was planned by and for African American people. But that doesn't prevent you from coming here. You can come here. You can sit down. You can have friends. You can come sit and chill and hang out. And, we got hotels. You can come spend the night and patronize the business. All of that. You could do that. But this town, that's not what they're offering. It's a whites-only society. And that's what they're hoping to try and push across the country. And that's a problem. Now, I don't have a problem with some things, but I do have a problem with other things. And I'll tell you these things when I come back from this break. This is Deron Harris Podcast. I'll be right back.
The Podcast Playground.
Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Hey, y'all, what's up? Talking about white folks want to live around themselves only. And that's fine, man. I mean, like, to a degree. I mean, I think that if that's what you want to do, man, if you don't plan on hurting anybody, that's fine. And like I said, though, if that's what you want, if an all-white community, an all-white town is what you want, then make sure you take everything. Take all your things. Make sure you take get you an Apple store. Make sure you got a Starbucks. Make sure you got a Barnes & Noble, a Whole Foods. Make sure you got all that shit. Put it right in your everything. Make sure you have a chicken salad chick. Get all that stuff. Get it all. Put everything you can in your little neighborhood. Get you a little theater. Everything you can muster up and fit in your town. Put it in that motherfucker so we don't have to deal with y'all. So I don't have to walk through the grocery store and deal with you. So nobody else has to walk through the grocery store or sit in the car wash or be at the bank dealing with you. Do that. Okay, do everybody that favor. When you do that, if you don't want to live around me, don't come the fuck where I shop at. You know what I'm saying? If you got that big of a problem, then don't come the fuck over here. You feel me? Then don't. And also, don't have any ethnicity of other food other than the food that you motherfuckers cook. I don't want to see y'all come home with no Mexican food. Don't come home with no Chinese food. You better not come home with no motherfucking soul food at all. Cook the shit or get you, like I said, get you some chicken salad shit going. Get all your shit. Okay? Make sure you do that. Now, like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with y'all wanting to go live amongst yourselves. Do that shit till the cows come home. I don't give a fuck. What I do care about, though, and unfortunately, this is way larger than how my personal feelings go. You have to kind of care. And the reason you got to care is because when there's a county someplace, okay? And what they do is they'll come to a county and they'll form these towns. And this town now has a majority. They have a big, pretty solid base, and they're able to affect things from local politics to the school board to the police force, et cetera, et cetera. They're able to create an area where their ideology permeates that particular region, and it spreads out and spreads out from there. And that is ultimately what they're trying to do. They're trying to spread the sentiment of all white America, a separated all white America. That's why you got to care about it. That's why you got to think about it. That's why you have to understand what's happening. You can't be complacent about it. You have to be proactive in finding out the information about these things, because it could be next to your county. It could be your county. It could be where you live. Now, as much as I don't give a fuck about what they do, I damn sure don't want to be in the same county as these motherfuckers. Much less, in the same state, but like the same county, the town over, 2-3 towns over. No, I can't do that. And the rest of us shouldn't have to do that either. Because it goes much deeper. It's much more dangerous than just the politics. Your tiki torch whites? There you go. It's the same people. These guys on the Patriot Front and the Proud Boys and all this, that's who these people are. All these dudes marching around with these masks over their face and their khaki pants in the name of patriotism, that's who these people are. And their ideology right off the bat is militant and hate towards anything that is not white. And they say that it's peaceful, and they say that it's not race-based, but that's just preposterous to even say that. That's ridiculous to even say that shit. But that's what they claim. And I mean, hey man, I got to take note and notice at some point. I got to keep my eye open. Okay? Because make no mistake about it, these are openly racist communities. They say it's not that. That's exactly what it is. And if you can't say that, if you can't call it that, then I don't know what the issue is. I don't know what your deal is, but that's exactly what it is. And people really, honestly, who tolerate this type of stuff, that's a special breed of person also. You know what I'm saying? That's a special breed of person. And I'm not saying that, because us black folks, we've shouted till the cows come home. We've done all we can. I'm talking to the white folks who claim to be progressive enough to say that racism is bad and this shouldn't happen. I need to see y'all out here on some proactivity. But a lot of people just say, it doesn't affect me. It won't be in my neighborhood. I don't care. And they never say anything. But they still claim to be these straight, these for all for one for all kind of people. But they don't really do any real activism. They don't say, hey man, what the fuck you're doing is wrong. They don't challenge shit. Now I do see some people challenge things, and I applaud those people. I applaud those people. I got a friend, Ben the Curious. He's not really my friend, but we're friends on social media, and I love him because he comes from a place of love, and he's just always trying to school white people on trying to help white people be better white people in society. You know what I'm saying? And he does. He puts it's hard things. They're hard things that he talks about. And I just want to let him know, if he ever listens, that I appreciate the work that he does in helping to make white America understand that there is no such privilege. The privilege is created. It's in your head. We're all the same. We're all equal. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how the country started, here we are today. And if we continue to let things like this permeate, then we're going to go back to those days. Okay? Some of these people have ties to militia groups. And all it is base camp for these groups to become stronger, more unified, more organized, while we sit out here and do TikTok dances and shit like that. These people are really, really putting the work in. They're trying to put the work in. We need to start putting the work in. Like I said, they affect everything from the police force to elections, to school board, to what you can and can't put in the town. They affect everything. You know, some of these people, they go to particular towns and they take over. But these are towns being built from scratch. Almost like a town of homesteaders. 40 people is a lot of people to start a homestead, to start a community. 40 people is a lot. And after a while, once they get big enough, and I'm sure they will, they'll have some sort of town, some sort of name for their town, some sort of representation for their town, which will again advocate for the same ideology that they're living right now. And if we want to stay Americans and continue to be Americans and continue to call ourselves Americans and continue to be proud to be Americans, even, right now we're getting kind of a bad rap. If we want to do that, then this is another thing we need to stand up and snuff the fuck out. It's another thing we need to say, hey, listen, we can't tolerate shit like this. We just can't tolerate it. We can't tolerate shit like this. Well, what about your all black neighborhood? Well, we are not segregating ourselves because we want to. We said we were segregating ourselves because we need to. We segregate ourselves because we're sick of the violence. We're sick of the ridicule. We're sick of the harassment. We're sick of it. If it never happened, we wouldn't need those things. So, I don't know. I'm going to take one more break. When I come back, I'm going to wrap it up. It's the Deron Harris Podcast, so I'll be right back.
The Podcast Playground.
Hooray!
Now, back to the Deron Harris Podcast.
Hey, y'all, what's up? I'm back. All right, so let me know what y'all think, man, because I don't know. I think it's something we definitely need to keep our eye on. I don't think it's completely harmless. I think that there is an underlying strategy behind this whole thing. And what that really is a network, a 50-state network where they can move about the country safely with impunity and spread their message, recruit their ranks. We need to keep an eye on that. Because we all know that the current administration will only embrace that. I'm just going to call it like I see it. They're just going to embrace it. They might even fund it, promote it, et cetera, et cetera. So we definitely have to be, on the lookout for all kinds of stuff, not just this, all kinds of stuff. This kind of passive aggressive racism tactic that's been making its face known here in recent years a lot more prevalently. It's always been around, but like I said, in the past few years, it's been a hell of a lot more prevalent. So folks, please keep your eyes open. Understand, don't go out there and cause no disturbances or nothing like that. Don't get yourself in trouble, but stay informed. All right? Stay informed about all of this shit. Because in the next several years, it's going to be all kind of shit. We're going to be like, what the fuck is that? Watch what I tell you. All right? So, till next time, I want to thank my parents. I want to thank my wife first. I'm going to thank my wife because she's awesome. She was on the podcast last week. She's awesome. I've been just trying to get her on this week also, but she's, unfortunately, she is working. I want to thank my parents, man, for giving me the mouthpiece, and my dad in particular, because my dad really is into this type of stuff, and he's the reason I kind of think about things like this. My mother is a very free spirit. She's a lover and a nurturer and that kind of stuff. But my dad is very analytical, very, very ear to the ground kind of guy. So I want to appreciate my dad and thank my dad for giving me that same trait. I want to thank my producer, Jesse Yandel, for being the best producer and best friend, man. I appreciate you, man. I want to thank Gentry Thomas for the platform to come to you to broadcast to you guys on. And of course, last but not least, and always first, I want to thank you guys for listening to my podcast. I really, really do appreciate you. And like I said in the beginning of the podcast, I have noticed and I see and I appreciate all the love and all of it. I do appreciate it. So until next week, y'all, you guys keep your eyes open, man. All right? Peace.
You've been listening to the Deron Harris Podcast. Subscribe to the show, give a good rating, and everything you need to know is at DeronHarris.com.